of the things I expect men to do in marriage. Number one, pay the rent, mortgage, and utilities. So that's like the rent, the water, and like the electric. You know what I'm saying? And then if you have a home, like the property tax and the mortgage insurance, all that good stuff. Number two, to do most of the cooking. I cook, but I don't really like to cook. So it's really a plus when I meet a guy who is really good at cooking. And there are actually a lot of men that are great cooks.
Really?
It's really upsetting.
Whoa, look, I ain't mean to judge, but dang, she kind of scared me for a second. She just popped out. Just here, this is me.
First of all, they already don't need a man, and if they're gonna get a man, they have the mindset of just getting the best one possible. So
I don't need a man, but if I'm gonna get one, I might as well get the best one possible.
For a guy to date you, what does he need to bring?
Stable job, good family,
Happiness.
kindness, intellectual. He needs to be like smart, not just like academic smart, but like, you know, needs to be outgoing.
How much does a good job pay?
We're about to be seniors in college, right?
So define
like,
good job.
You define it.
Well, I would say right out of college, if my man is not making at least 90K, he's not gonna be my man.
At what age do you typically graduate college?
I'll graduate when I'm 22.
Okay, so 22, he needs to be pulling out 90K.
Oh yeah, I know so many people.
If you're
So
doing
many
the right
people.
career path and you
Yeah.
want it, if you're going for what you want, maybe it's less than 90K, but as long as you're achieving what you
85,
want to achieve.
80, no, not achieving. Motherfucker, you say achieving what you want to hear from me. I'm fucking like theater or something. No.
Just
85 to 90K, I feel like is a stable income right out of college, especially I guess
Especially
in
this
our field.
99% of the women who are 53 and older, specifically 53, 55, 57, 59, 61, 64, in those age brackets
Are delusional.
have been the most challenging for me to coach because the standards are unrealistically high.
Delusional.
I get that you're old school and I get that your mom raised you to only interact with gentlemen, but most of the men who do all of the stuff that you're wanting are dead, or they're not looking for 55 or 57-year-old women. There are some younger men who do that. And you don't want an old man because he can't perform in bed. Well, the younger men don't want an older woman because some of you have arthritis. Some of you have missing teeth. You have gray hair. You have grandkids. Like, you gotta be realistic and balanced in your thinking.
Older than me.
So 25 to 35?
Over 6 feet, beefy, white.
Look, everyone's allowed to have their preference, but this is probably why there's that study that says that 45% of women will be single and childless in the year 2030, because there's too many modern women that have ridiculous expectations.
Women have unrealistic standards of dating because we men have been reduced to simps nowadays, and society puts women on a pedestal. Seriously, there's men who subscribe to these girls' OnlyFans accounts and pay them to acknowledge their existence, or even better yet, pay over thousands of dollars for freaking bathwater that the girl probably hasn't even been in. A man even spent $62,000 in a month on OnlyFans. It's pathetic and disgusting. Some women think they deserve male models because the average dude will bend over backwards like cooked spaghetti. The problem is us men. If we start growing a spine and stop caring what women think of us, they will have a reality check and will be forced to come down from their high horse and start acting normal. Here's the elephant in the room no one wants to talk about. The only weapon and power young women have is sex. Take it away, and what do they have? Right, very little. Why do you think women are so insecure and need validation from their army of simps? Why do they wear makeup? Why do they have hundreds of outfits in certain combinations? They have nothing else going for them. Back then, when men had backbone, we would have laughed at women with those attitudes and left them to rot with their 30 cats. Man up and focus on yourself. You should only care about attracting high-quality women that are down to earth and don't have the entitlement these cancerous women have. They are out there. Make sure that not only you are worthy, but they should also be worthy of you. These Western women tend to suffer from Cinderella syndrome. They all foolishly believe that they have a right to move into the castle with the prince. What they fail to comprehend is that there is only one Cinderella and countless wicked stepsisters. Since their inflated egos have an insatiable appetite, they claw over each other at the chance to shove their fat hooves into the glass slipper. They watch shows and movies and expect to be little princesses like the characters on television. I remember when the shows were all about girls cheating on their boyfriends a long time ago. Real-life girls would then cheat on their boyfriends to mimic television. Women are pretty dumb and easy to influence. Here's my understanding of the sexual marketplace. He is a charismatic, prestigious, highly successful and handsome man, creme de la creme, but he does it effortlessly. always has stress managed, never loses control. Indeed, any problems he has had were resolved before he proceeded into the dating world. A double standard is only a double standard if she decides it is. Unattractive men desiring sex are innately misogynists. They are only meant to exist as repositories for a woman's whims. They ought to know their place. Attractive men who reject women are innately arrogant narcissists. Men are bad people unless they can solve women's problems or needs, and their own, without assistance, without expectation of anything in return. If they fail to do the former, they're selfish. If they fail the latter, then they're weak and lose their man card. It is okay to virgin shame, tiny dick shame, lives in mum's basement shame, beer belly shame, and many more. But it is not okay to gender flip these. Women expect men to read their minds. Not only that, but read their emotions as well, even if they have very differing needs and emotions at any given time. The best way to illustrate this example is to relate a personal story of a friend of mine. She was one of those cute but sort of awkward girls who looked too virginally to attract a guy, as they assumed she wouldn't have sex with them. Eventually, some guy took a chance with her, an even more awkward guy, and she finally lost her virginity in her early 20s. After that, she had some pretty awful sexual experiences and longed for a boyfriend for many years. She even had a boyfriend for a bunch of years, but he never gave her what she wanted, emotionally, physically, or anything remotely boyfriend-like. He was more a good friend that she could rely on. They rarely had sex. During one of the many times she bitched about guys and how they behave, she would make it very clear all she really wanted was for a guy to show up at her door with a cake. Yes, you heard me correct, a cake. If a guy showed up with a cake, she would find him to be the perfect guy, and probably sleep with him on the spot, or maybe right after eating cake. But the caveat was, he couldn't know beforehand that she wanted cake. He would have to just do that on his own, with no idea that's what she wanted. Of course, because he seemingly read her mind, that would make him perfect. Personally, I blame Disney movies. These movies set up such an unrealistic portrayal of how relationships work that women who are not more reasonable sit by and actually think this is how it works. Prince Charming shows up with the right slipper, or cake, or whatever, because she is the one, quote unquote. This is of course utter bullshit, but it's easier to make stories where love is simple than to make stories where love is complicated, realistic, and as heartbreaking as it can sometimes be. Even in my own relationships with much more reasonable girls than the one I just mentioned, I have found many girls wanting me to read their minds in ways that are pretty impossible, and I'm damned good at making people think I can read their minds. But I cannot guess every mood, every gift they want, every word they want to come out of my mouth at that very instant. No one is that good. The only girls who feel that way about their guy are either so delusional they believe that whatever the guy said was exactly what they wanted the guy to say, or the guy plays the safest bets. Bring flowers, tell her no one is prettier, basically lie his ass off, so that she thinks he's the perfect one. For anyone who wants to paint me as a bitter, lonely, relationshipless guy, I have had many long-term relationships. I'm currently involved with someone for the last 10 years, and been pretty lucky in love, considering. That being said, I don't think many people have very good relationships. Anyway, that's all for today on Manhood. Don't forget to smash the like and subscribe buttons, and also click on the notification bell to be the first to know when I drop a new video. If you find value in my videos, you can show your support through PayPal or Cash App. The links are in the description. See you next time. Cheers.